Ah! Thought I finished for good there, didn't you? No, I just had to stop. Okay. Come on, Fair. Yeah, man. What was that? Oh, I don't like this at all. Seriously. Don't expect me to make a let's play of a Machine for Pigs.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound good at all. I need to be careful with my oil. Thank you, Maestro. Exactly what I needed. Ah, exactly what I needed. Thank you. Your contribution to my survival is most appreciated. I should be careful. What the hell? I don't like this. I don't like that. Little Ben. Benny had a cat that he wouldn't let him keep, so put her up for sale at a price he thought was cheap. He took her to a neighbor and asked him for advice. He said, "Leave the kitty here, she'll help me with the mice." But the cat came back. She wouldn't wanna stay, she wouldn't stay away. She was sitting on the porch the very next day. The cat came back. She didn't want to roam. The very next day was home sweet home. And he met a man who was driving way out west. He would take the cat along as a special honored guest. The steering wheel was wobbly, as anyone could see. No. The steering wheel was wobbly. He drove into a tree. The car was just a total wreck, as anyone could see. But the cat came back. He wouldn't stay away. She was sitting on the porch the very next day. The cat came back. She didn't want to roam. The very next day she was home sweet home.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
So Benny bought a gun from the human cannonball. He put the cat inside with trinitrotoluol. When he pulled the trigger, the cannon made a roar. Then the neighbors all surrendered because they thought it was a war. But the cat came back the very next. She wouldn't stay away. She was sitting on the porch the very next day. The cat came back. She didn't want to roam. The very next day she was home sweet home. Then Benny gave the cat to a man who had a bomb. When he took the cat away, she was acting cool and calm. And then the bomb exploded. It made an awful sound. They searched and searched for ages, but the man was never found. But the cat came back the very next day. She was sitting on the porch the very next day. The cat came back. She didn't want to roam. The very next day, it was home sweet home.
Yeah. 17th of May, 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light.
This can't be good.
It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
Should I touch it? I shouldn't touch it. I really shouldn't touch it. Yoink!
I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
How quaint. I'm not doing well mentally, am I? No. Nothing could get me here. Not breakable by hand. Four.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.